Hi, welcome to Cool Guy Podcast YouTube channel.
Today we are going to learn about the history of human civilization.
Today we're really tackling the big one, aren't we? The whole story of human existence.
Yeah, it's quite the task, trying to condense, nearly 4 billion years of twists and turns?
Exactly. And our mission really is to pull out those, pivotal moments, the absolute game changers from the sources we looked at.
And the context here is just, it's sobering, the way you live now. That sophisticated civilization. It's existed for, less than 0.001% of human history.
Wow. That really puts it in perspective. Our complexity is incredibly recent, almost fragile.
Frighteningly so, yeah.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The real beginning, that first simple cell.
Right. All life, everything, traces back about 3.5 billion years to this single ancestor. And getting there required some, pretty wild coincidences.
Like lightning hitting just the right chemical soup, creating those first fragile genes. But that wasn't enough, was it?
No, not at all. The sources really emphasize this vulnerability. Those early genes, they just dissolved. They needed protection.
So the truly improbable step was containment.
Exactly. This oily material, a lipid membrane, somehow accidentally just wrapped itself around those genes, a little sealed unit. That was the breakthrough.
Mind-blowing. And then for 2 billion years, life just cloned itself.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Simple replication.
Yeah.
Until another sort of accident happened called the evolutionary gamble.
You mean sex?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
2 simple cells merged their genetic material. It sounds risky, messing with the successful genome.
So the outcome was huge.
Immense. It introduced variation. Suddenly you have this engine for creating diversity, accelerating evolution, leading to, the entire complex tree of life.
Okay, let's jump way forward now. Across the Cambrian explosion, life moving to land, and we get anatomically modern Homo sapiens. That's about 200,000 years ago.
Right. But the sources suggest the really crucial change, the cognitive leap, happened much later, maybe around 70,000 years ago.
And this was down to gene mutations, enabling advanced language, abstract thought.
That's the prevailing theory, yeah. It helps explain this kind of human paradox. Think about our ancestors 50,000 years ago.
Incredible survivors, right? Individually, much tougher, better senses.
Absolutely. Superior motor skills, environmental awareness. But our advantage isn't individual prowess. It's cooperation.
The ability to work together flexibly in huge groups.
Exactly. And not just cooperate, but share knowledge, build on it generation after generation. That's what allows for exponential progress.
Which brings us to maybe the biggest transformation of all. 12,000 years ago, agriculture.
The agricultural revolution.
Yeah.
Before that, survival was, it was everything. A full-time job needing top physical and mental skills from everyone.
No room for specialists, really.
Very little. But farming, especially reliable grains you could store, changed the whole equation. Suddenly you could have a surplus. Predictable food.
And that predictability freed people up.
It did. For the first time, not everyone had to forage or hunt. Some could focus on making better tools, managing livestock, and maybe even inventing things, developing social structures.
It sounds fantastic, this great transformation. But the sources also hint at a downside. Wasn't this also when inequality really took root and maybe life got harder for the average farmer?
Oh, absolutely. It's a double-edged sword. Agriculture enabled progress, cities, everything we think of as civilization.
Yeah.
But it also meant fixed settlements, property to defend.
Which leads to hierarchy.
Directly. Villages needed organizing, food stores needed managing and protecting. That leads straight to villages, cities, kingdoms, empires. And stratification becomes embedded.
And you see that innovation exploding in those early cities, like in Mesopotamia. I thought it was fascinating the wheel. We think chariots.
Right, transport.
But it was invented for pottery first by the Sumerians, just for making pots more efficiently. It kind of symbolizes that settled, specialized life.
A tool for mass production, not movement initially. And tools, ideas, they only spread as fast as communication allows.
Which brings us to writing. Early writing was complex, wasn't it? Thousands of symbols.
Exactly. Cuneiform hieroglyphs. Incredibly complex. Only a tiny elite, scribes mostly, could master them. Knowledge was bottlenecks.
Until the Canaanites, around 1700 BC.
They had a breakthrough. They basically distilled all those confusing pictures down to a small set of symbols representing sounds. About 22 letters.
The ancestor of our alphabet.
Pretty much. Suddenly, writing becomes much easier to learn. Knowledge can spread way faster, beyond just the palace or the temple. It democratized information, in a way.
And as these societies got bigger and more complex, you needed clearer rules.
Formalized rules. which leads us to things like Hammurabi's Code, around 1750 BC.
That giant black stone pillar, right, with all the laws carved on it, one of the first public written legal systems.
A foundational moment for law, definitely. 282 laws covering all sorts of things. But it's also, well, it's quite chilling to read.
Because it makes the hierarchy official.
Explicitly. The code literally values people differently. Injuring a noble costs you far more than injuring a commoner or a slave. It shows how quickly that new social order got baked right into the rules.
So, just thinking about that timeline again, it's staggering. Civilization really only gets going, 500 generations ago?
Roughly, yeah. And the scientific revolution, maybe 20 generations back. The speed of change recently is just, it's breakneck compared to the vast stretches of time before.
We've gone from that first fragile cell to written laws encoding social status. It's an improbable story.
Truly improbable, almost accidental in so many ways.
So maybe the final thought to leave everyone with, something from the sources. We've built this incredible, complex civilization like a skyscraper.
Impressive, intricate.
But are we sure what it's standing on? Is it solid bedrock or is it quicksand? It makes you pause and remember just how special and maybe how constructed this whole made-up human world really is.